This is its financial history too, where money's past reveals tomorrow's truth. Most people think the story of economic thought begins with Adam Smith, Karl Marx, or if they really paid attention in school, maybe Aristotle. But there's a quieter truth hiding in the medieval world, a truth Western history rarely teaches. Nearly 1,000 years ago, long before capitalism, Wall Street, or central banks, a Muslim scholar issued a warning that echoes through every financial crisis today. He said, "When money loses its moral compass, societies rot from within. And looking at the world we live in, he might have understood us far better than we think." Welcome to its financial history too, where money, power, and history collide. And nothing is ever as simple as it looks. To understand Al-Ghazali, one of the most influential thinkers of the Islamic Golden Age, you have to picture a world that feels both familiar and foreign. The year is around 1100 CE. Europe is fragmented and struggling. But the Islamic world? It stretches from Spain to Persia, wealthy, innovative, intellectually alive. Baghdad, Damascus, Cairo, these aren't just cities. They're global financial engines. Trade routes are buzzing with caravans loaded with silk, spices, metalwork, and ideas. In this world of expanding markets, rising inequality, and rapid economic change stands Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, scholar, jurist, philosopher, critic. A man who could explain the purpose of the soul and the purpose of a currency system with the same clarity. But what made him revolutionary was something simple. He refused to accept the world as it was. He saw societies getting richer, but people becoming emptier, markets growing, but morals shrinking, prosperity rising, but meaning disappearing. He asked a question that feels painfully modern. What happens when a civilization gets rich faster than it gets wise? To find the answer, he studied money itself, not mathematically, not technically, but morally and psychologically. For Al-Ghazali, money was like a mirror. It wasn't meant to be worshipped or hoarded. Its value came from what it reflected, the life, trade, and cooperation of society. From this idea came one of his strongest principles: hoarded money is dead money. Wealth hidden in chests, buried in yards, or locked in palaces isn't harmless. It's destructive. Idle wealth doesn't circulate. It doesn't pay workers. It doesn't fund trade. It suffocates the economic bloodstream. When the rich hoard, society doesn't become poor because resources run out. It becomes poor because circulation stops. Prices distort, trust erodes, people suffer. His warning about speculation: Al-Ghazali had zero tolerance for speculative behavior. Price manipulation, artificial shortages, profiting from crises, taking without contributing. Whoever profits from the suffering of others, he wrote, profits from corruption. He understood long before modern economists that speculation destroys trust, and when trust dies, markets die with it. The value of honest work: he believed labor was dignified. He believed unearned wealth was spiritually and socially toxic. Not because profit was bad, but because societies grow strong when people create and collapse when people exploit. His critique of rulers: medieval rulers often debased currency, mixing cheaper metals into gold and silver coins. A shortcut to stretch their budgets. Al-Ghazali condemned it outright. To him, debasing currency was theft, a betrayal of the people. He warned, when rulers cheat, the merchants cheat. When institutions lie, individuals lie. Corruption flows downward like poison. His conclusion was simple and terrifying. Asterisk, asterisk, a society can survive poverty. It cannot survive corruption. Asterisk, asterisk, and then... The modern world happened. Everything he warned about, we're living it. Skyrocketing inequality, speculative bubbles, predatory markets, currency manipulation, institutional distrust, wealth without responsibility. His critique of hoarding mirrors billionaire wealth concentration. His critique of speculation describes crypto bubbles, housing crises, shadow banking. His critique of dishonest rulers fits inflation politics across the globe. He would look at the modern economy, the debt, the volatility, the inequality, and say exactly what he wrote 1,000 years ago. Where justice is lost, prosperity cannot remain. Economies don't collapse because the numbers fail. They collapse because trust fails. Al-Ghazali understood something most modern economists still ignore. Money is not just an economic system. It is a moral ecosystem. And when the moral ecosystem collapses, the financial one follows. Why his message matters today in a world of digital currencies, rapid speculation, rising inequality, and governments printing money at historic levels. His message feels less like philosophy and more like a warning. If money becomes detached from morality, the system will eventually break. Understanding that isn't just education, it's protection. Because history doesn't repeat, but if you don't understand it, it will definitely punish you. And if this gave you a new perspective, make sure to hit subscribe, because history has the answers, and I'll show you exactly where to look.